my name is Miss Pam, and I'm from Building Blocks Child Development Center here in Spencer, West Virginia. And I have a book and a project to do with you today. Our book is called Best in Snow. I don't know how it is where you live, but here we haven't had a whole lot of snow this winter. Had a little bit, but in the winter, things change. The birds that we have all summer long, some of them decide, ooh, it's too cold. And they decide they want to fly south for the winter. And they fly down where it's a lot warmer. We have some other birds that decide, hey, I kind of like this cold weather. So they fly up here and they stay with us during the winter because they like the cold and the snow. So in this book, there's a lot of different animals that come out in the winter that we see mainly in the winter. Some of them we see all year long, but some of them go through a little bit of changes and stuff in the winter. So we're going to read this book and see what we can find out. It is called Best in Snow. And there's some frost. A freeze. A breeze. A cloud. It snows. See all the little birds in there? Eating out bird feeder. Snowflakes land on a squirrel's nose. And that squirrel, he looks nice and real thick and furry, doesn't he? His fur gets thicker in the winter, so it keeps him from getting too cold. Snow sails and it settles. Snow shows shapes. Dust swings. Snowfall quickens and thickens as snow clumps and clings. But then wind sifts, snow drifts, sun shines. That's my favorite about snow in the winters, when the snow shines on the trees, or the sun shines on the snow on the trees. Water seeps, crystals feather as ice creeps. Air warms, snow softens. It drip, drip, drips. Snowmelt forms icicle tips. Down below, sail mixes with snow. It's mushy, it's slushy, until, look at that deer, look at that deer, she's all nice and furry, she has a nice warm fur coat on. Another freeze, another breeze, another cloud, and it snows. And another snowflake lands. There's a blue jay on a squirrel's nose. The end. So if you see the little squirrel here, he's digging in the snow, and in the fall, Mr. Squirrel here, he goes through and he gathers up all the acorns, and then he buries them, and then when it gets cold, he goes and he digs them up. It's kind of like his refrigerator. Keeps his acorns underneath the ground, and it keeps them from getting all dried out and yucky. And then he'll just go through and find his little acorns that he's all hidden in the snow. And sometimes, if Mr. Squirrel forgets one of his acorns that he's planted underneath the ground, it grows into a tree. So the squirrel helps us in the winter if he forgets where his acorns are buried. All right. So in the winter, when there's a lot of snow and it's very, very cold, birds and squirrels have a hard time finding food sometimes, especially if we have a really long, cold winter. Squirrels and birds really need some help sometimes. they don't have enough food. So we have a building block, so we go through quite a bit of bird seed in the fall or in the winter, where we feed all the little birds. But we like to watch the birds, and we look and see what colors they are, and we count the birds, and we just see what are different about the birds in the winter and than they are in the summer. Now, Mr. Blue Jay that we had in here, Mr. Blue Jay, we kind of call him the bully bird. He likes to fight all the other little birds out of the bird seed, out of the bird feeders. So, but he needs food too. So we have to let him all eat. And the squirrels, the kids like to gather the acorns up because we have a great big oak tree in our backyard at Building Blocks, and the kids love to gather those acorns up, and we put them in a plastic bag, and they're actually at my house in the freezer. That way they don't get yucky and they don't get worms in them and bugs and all that stuff. So when it's winter like now, I bring the acorns from my house out of my freezer, and we feed them back to the squirrels, so they don't have to go looking for them all over the place. But this year we haven't had a whole lot of snow, so he hasn't had to work too hard to find something to eat. But the little birds now, there's no more berries for the birds to eat. There's no more bugs outside for the birds to eat. So birds may need a little bit of help. So we're going to make a bird feeder. So what I have here is something very simple. I have some peanut butter, and I have some bird seed, and I have a toilet paper tube. And I took my hole punch and hole punched holes in my toilet paper tube, on both sides. And that way we're going to be able to hang it up. Now, we'll move those because we don't want a little bird eating cardboard. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take a plastic knife, and now if you don't have, make sure you have an adult help you, because even if it's a plastic knife, it still has little teeth on there, and if you're not careful, you might hurt yourself. So, if you don't have a plastic knife, a butter knife, or even a craft stick, popsicle stick, those will all work. You could even use a spoon if you wanted to. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the peanut butter here and a plastic knife, and we're going to spread the peanut butter onto the toilet paper roll. And the squirrels really like this because they like to lick the peanut butter off of it. So, and then one year we made these, we made them with pine cones. And you can take a pine cone and do the same thing. You take your pine cone and cover it really good with peanut butter. I want a nice, good, thick coat of peanut butter because that's going to hold your seeds on, your bird seed. So, we got our peanut butter on there, nice and thick, to hold our seeds. I don't want to cover my little holes up because that's where the string's got to go. So, we've got our little toilet paper tube all nice and covered. And then we'll set it on the plate. And now I have some bird seed. Alright. We're going to take a little bit of our bird seed and we'll pour that on our plate. And then we got to kind of mush the peanut butter down in the bird seed. And you just got to kind of roll it and turn it. I'll scoop the bird seed up a little bit more right there until we get it all nice and covered. And you can go back through and see if you need to push it down in the bird seed just a little bit more. Now, if you put your peanut butter on there nice and thick, you can just kind of keep rolling it around in the bird seed and making sure it's all nice and thick on there. Now, you have two little holes right there that we poked in there with a thing. You can put your little string through there. You could put a pipe cleaner through there and hang it up in your tree in your backyard. or hang it on your porch and see what kind of little birds come and check out your bird feeder. So, there's all kinds of other things that you can make this out of. Remember, you can use a pine cone. If you have some extra bird seed and mom's making biscuits, or mom's making bread, you can take a little bit of bread dough and do the same thing. Get your seeds all up there in the middle, pour you some seeds out onto a plate, and then mash your bread dough or your biscuit dough, or those little canned biscuits. You can take one of those and mash it down into the bird seed really, really good, and then help mom bake it in the oven, and you made a bird feeder. And it was just a biscuit and a little bit of bird seed. You can help mom. You can help mom, or dad, or grandma, or grandpa, whoever's your adult. Remember, all of our families are different. Okay? I have 2 moms, a dad, and 9 brothers and sisters. Okay, so my family's a lot different than a lot of people's. Some people live with grandma and grandpa. Some people live with aunts and uncles. Some people live with friends. Just depends on how your family is made up. So you have your adult help you, and you can make it out of biscuit dough. You can make it out of bread dough. You can just use the peanut butter and some stuff that's laying around your house. One year we made these at Building Blocks, and we did them on pine cones, and we hung them up in the trees, and we had deer that came in and was standing on their back legs eating the pine cone. They ate the pine cone. They ate the whole thing, pine cone and all. Can you believe that? I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe that the deer would eat a pine cone with peanut butter on it. They must like peanut butter. So you can make it out of just about anything. And it helps our little bird friends out right now. And another thing you can do to help our little bird friends out, and I didn't bring any with me, and I should have thought about it, is that dryer fuzz that comes out of the dryer when you take the clothes out. Birds love that to put in their nests to make them all nice and warm and cozy in the winter. So I take the dryer fuzz out of the dryer, and I put it in the little holes at the top of the fence, the Building Blocks, and the little birds can come and get it and take it and put it in their nest. So there you're helping the birds, and you can help the squirrels, and you can help all the little friends out there in the woods. So, all right. Well, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed your book and your project, and I hope you make some bird feeders. And I'll see you later. Bye.